Linux as an operating system has both the graphical user interface and the command line interface, which is also known as the CLI. But in most cases, the CLI is used more often than the graphical user interface. So in this video, we grab onto some basic commands specific to the Linux terminal that makes navigation easier and faster in the Linux operating system. Without much ado, let's dive into the video.
Unleashing creativity through coding.
Okay, so in our case, we have a normal terminal open on our desktop right now. So there are different types of terminal that come with the Kali Linux distribution. So it is the normal terminal that you see on the user interface right now, and then when you come here and tap on this drop down, you see we have the root terminal emulator and then the PowerShell. Mostly people use the normal terminal, but for more administrative used stuff, you would want to use the root terminal emulator because you wouldn't want to be always asking for administrative permissions before you do things, which will always make you enter your password over and over again to access some simple commands. But in our case, you're going to use the normal terminal here. Okay, so the first command I want to introduce to you is who am I? So as the question goes, who am I? You know how you answer that question if it's asked to you. So let's see what distribution will give us if we ask him. We see. So who am I? As you can see, it gives me my username Keldrick. So that is who this Linux distribution is. That is the name of the Linux distribution. Okay, so from there we go to the IP address. You see, every system is specified to a specific IP address on a specific network. So in most cases, IP addresses are going to be very useful to perform attacks and even vulnerable scans. So in that case, you'd want to always know your IP address to differentiate it from your victim's IP address. So if you want to check for your IP address, all you have to do is type in ifconfig or ifconfig, then press enter. As you can see here, this is my IP address, and then in case I have another network on my network, if I use a tool like Nmap, it will give me my IP address and then the IP address of the other device on the same network. So this will help me differentiate between my IP address and that of the victim's IP address. Okay, so the next command I want to introduce you to is the host name. So if you type the host name, is also going to give the host name. As you can see here, we have Keldrick and then Keldrick. The first Keldrick has a small letter K, and then the second one has a capital letter K. So the first one is the device name, which was provided by the who am I. Then the one with the capital K is the host system. This entire host system's name is Keldrick, and then the user, or the current user, is Keldrick. So that is the command host name. So the next one I want you to know about is PWE. PWE simply means print working directory. It's going to show you your current location on your device. So if you do PWE, you press enter. As you can see, I'm in my home directory, and then I'm in another directory within the home directory called Keldrick. So after that, I want to introduce you to the list command, which is ls. So when you do ls, it prints out the files in your current directory. So as I've pressed these are the current directories found inside my Keldrick directory. So ls simply lists all the directories or files, or directories and files inside your current working directory. So the next one I want to introduce you to is cd. So cd simply means change directory. So in case I want to change directory from the Keldrick to the downloads folder inside the Keldrick directory, I'll have to do cd and I'll do downloads. So sometimes you have to type 2 or just an alphabet of the name, then you press tab, then it auto completes for you, then you press enter. So as you can see here, it has appended this to my normal terminal name, which means that we are currently in the downloads directory. So what if you want to leave the downloads directory? All you have to do is cd space, then you add 2 full stops or 2 dots, press enter, then it takes you back. As you can see, the downloads is no more here, which means we are back inside our Keldrick directory. So if you do pwd, press enter, as you can see, we are back inside our Keldrick directory. So the next command I want to talk about is the touch. So from here onwards, I'm going to talk about commands specifically related to files. So in our case, the first command is touch. So what is touch? Touch helps you create a file in your current location. So for example, I want to create a file, a text file, for maybe adding information or sometimes adding dictionaries to it so that I can use it in a tool like Wi-Fi or the Fen Wi-Fi to use for Wi-Fi hacking. I can say touch, then the name of the file follows, which is, let's name it my file. Then you add the extension of the file, which is .txt. Press enter. The file has been created successfully. So how do you know that? You do ls, press enter. As you can see, the color of the file is different from the directories. So in any part of your terminal, there will be a distinction between your directories and your files. So the files will always be in white and the directories will always be in blue. As you can see here, I have my file. Right now my file is empty, and then for example, I want to add text to my file without actually opening the file and editing it. There's a shortcut you can go. You can say echo space, then you do a string. Let's say you want to add a string. Let's say the string you want to add is Derek. Okay, so we have Derek. You give your space, then you give a forward arrow, which is a greater than sign, one greater than sign. You do space, then you do the name of the file, which is my file. Then you press enter. So from here, if you want to read any text file, you don't want to cut cat plus the name of the file, which is my file, then tab, then press enter. As you can see, we wrote Derek inside our file, and then when we actually open our file, this is what is inside our file. Okay, so what if I want to add more characters? What if I want to replace characters? So the normal commander goes echo, then this. Okay, so let's tab this. Sorry, echo, let's say Derek, then this, then that, then my file. Okay, so this means that you are replacing everything or any content that exists inside my file with Derek. So in case you don't want to do that, you don't want to make the greater sign or the arrow sign 2. Let's see, let's add Derek 2, then see. So when I press enter, it has been added. So how do you know that? I say cut, then my file .txt, then enter. So as you can see, this has been added. So in case you don't want to replace the content, you do the double arrow, but in case you want to replace it, you do the single. So that is when we can do, so you press up to navigate through your previously typed commands and down to go down that same list. So let's say you want to do this, then we want to replace this by a single one. So when you press enter, you do cut my file, press enter. I can see it's only Derek 2, of which has been replaced by the Derek and the Derek 2. Okay, so the next command I want to introduce you is how to move and copy files. So in case I want to move my file.txt from the Keldrick directory into the downloads directory. What I want to do is I'll do mv for move, then the name of my file, so my file txt. Then you add the path to which you are moving the file from. So in this case, you want to move it to the downloads, so you do downloads slash, then you press enter. So when you do ls, you can see that the .txt file or my file has been moved inside the downloads folder. So let's do cd downloads and see, and let's try ls, then enter. So as you can see here, my file.txt has been moved inside here. So what if you want to delete this file? So for a normal file, you do rm space, then you give it the file name, so my file.txt, and you press enter. So if you do ls, you can see that the downloads directory is now empty. So let's do cd dot go back. So now we are in the Keldrick directory. Okay, so the next one is copy. So let's touch the file again, touch my file again. So you do ls, you can see my file is here. So if I want to copy my file and paste it in the downloads again, I want to do cp, then I'll say my file, press tab to complete, then the path you want to copy to. So let's say downloads slash, and press enter. So if you do ls, you can see my file.txt exists here, but when you do cd downloads and press enter, do ls, press enter, you can see we also have my file.txt here, which means we've copied my file from the Keldrick directory inside the downloads directory. So let's delete this for now. rm my file, press enter, you do cd back. Now you are back in the Keldrick directory. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about is if you want to edit your file, you'd want to use the command vim. So you do vim. Okay, so let vim my file txt, you press enter. So in this case, you can't do anything when you do this, so you'd want to press the character I for insect. Want to press the character I for insert, then you can type. As you can see here, when I pressed I, insert was indicated beneath the text editor. Then you can type anything that you want. You can even make comments. You do hash, then it will appear as a comment. Then you can delete everything. So in case you want to escape, you do escape, you do colon, you do W Q, and then press enter, and it exits you from the Vim editor. Okay, so the next line of commands I want us to discuss is for directories. So for example, you want to create a directory, so you do ls to see the current directories. Okay, so let's create a directory called my directory. So you do mkdir space my directory. Sorry, press enter. It has been created. So you do ls, then press enter. You can see we have my directory in blue here. So what if you want to delete my directory? All you have to do is rmdir. If you do rm, it's going to flag an error. It won't work. So you have to do rmdir plus my directory. Press tab, press enter. You do ls. There it goes. Okay, so in case you have some commands that you want to know more about, but you don't actually know the other flags you can give it, you can do man space, then you do, let's say, pwd, press enter, and to give you information about the pwd command and then what it can be used for. So here you press q to exit, you are done. So basically, these are some basic commands you have to know to start learning penetration testing or cybersecurity in general. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and expect more. Thank you.